Phil Keoghan from The Amazing Race. You guys just hit your milestone 30th season this year, and I thought it was one of your best seasons ever. What do you think it was about this season that worked so well?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for saying that, because that's something coming from you. You've been such a long-time fan. How long have you been watching the race?
I've watched since September 5th, 2001, since it premiered.
So you're an original, and after 30 seasons, you're still intrigued. So I think we must have done something right. And I agree with you. I think it was a milestone for us to get to season 30. Pretty extraordinary. We got there because of our fans. We really did. And we wanted to do something special for the 30th season. And I guess you could say we chose people from all walks of life who we considered to be the best of the best in their chosen field. And they were such an eclectic mix of people who could eat massive amounts of hot dogs, like Joey Chestnut, who is just extraordinary, has all kinds of records for eating hot dogs, all the way through to people who save people's lives on a regular basis, and firefighters and amazing race car drivers. And then just to throw in a little paprika into the mix, we had Cody and Jessica in the season, which kind of stirred up both the fans and also the other teams. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think there was something pivotal about season 30, and it was just a great feeling to get that response from viewers and getting that new time slot. Kelly Cole, the new president of CBS, who's been in scheduling forever, had always wanted to put us in a different time slot. And being the president of the network, he had the power to do it. He put us in on a great time slot, being a Wednesday night. And the fans turned up, the audience turned up, and we got our best numbers in years. So I got to give a shout out to Kelly Call for having belief in us, and having the belief in us to be able to give us that time slot and see what we could do with it.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like all those elements combine to just rejuvenate the show?
Absolutely. I think there were some doubters about where the show was at a year ago, even a year ago. I think there were some people that were thinking, well, does race still have what it takes to be a really viable, high rating? The space is so tight now, Joyce. You look at the landscape of entertainment, what's out there. There are so many choices. So I felt like we needed this jolt of vitamin B, if you like. We needed to do something. We needed to make a little turn, just to say to people, hey, guess what? We haven't gone away. We can still make a really great show. I think we've been incredibly consistent over the years. If you look at the ratings of Amazing Race over the years, they've held steady. This gave us a ratings boost. New time slot, a great time slot, a coveted position on a network primetime scheduled lineup, the confidence of the president of the network to give us that shot. And I feel like we delivered. Such an amazing collaborative team who make Amazing Race. And I think everybody felt like they wanted to step it up for 30 because, again, we've been on for quite some time. What could we do that was new and different, that was going to get the attention that I think the show deserves? And I really feel like everybody stepped up, from the art department to, cinematically, we changed the way we shot it with different cameras. We tried some new things in post, put a little bit more humor in the writing. I write the show with another producer, and the network gave us the opportunity to inject some more of my zany humor. So there's some really cheesy.
More eyebrow raises.
Yes, more eyebrow raises.
We got one already.
Yeah, a few eyebrow raises along with a few jokes.
No oy vey last season.
Yeah, I don't think I used oy vey, but I did do this or that. So.
Well, I mean, you guys went down from 2 seasons a year to 1 a couple of years ago, when there were some, as you mentioned, some rumbling, some rumors that, could this be like Amazing Race's last season? Like, could this be canceled? Did that concern you at all? Or like internally, did you know like that wasn't likely realistic, getting canceled? Like the network was just trying to test out where you guys could fit, just because there is so many TV shows now.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very realistic that we could have got canceled. Look, I think every season you got to fight to have your place. It's kind of like being part of a, CBS is the #1 network in the world. They are the best of the best. So yeah, we're fighting for our position on that lineup every single season. So yes, very realistic that we could have gone by the wayside. And I think that's the way it should be. I think if you're a great player on a NFL team, just because you've made it on the team doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to make it on the team the next season, because there's always young people coming up who want to push you out of the way. And so I only use that analogy as a way to reference the idea that CBS wanted to try some new reality shows. They tried with The Hunted. They tried with a number of different reality pilots. And look, had those shows struck a chord with people and they had really worked and they'd spiked the numbers, then, there was every chance. There's only so much room on the lineup. There was every chance that they go, the show's had an amazing run. But, now we've got this other reality show. Thanks for everything. But we're going to go this direction. So, yeah, I think what happened was, if anything, trying those other reality formats, which is so hard. I mean, it is so hard to get anything to work, right? Whether it's reality or drama or a new comedy. I think, if anything, it only renewed people's faith in this format to say, you know what, we have a really good thing here. Yes, it has been around for 30 seasons, but these other show ideas that you're putting out to the public, they don't match what we got. And let's stick with this blue chip brand. Let's give it a time slot that we think it deserves, and paid off. So yeah, but absolutely, I thought, I was planning that this thing could go, and it was sad, but I think it gave us all a real jolt to, like, okay, guess what? We get to do another one. Let's make this count. And that's what we're thinking now, going ahead into season 31 and into season 32. We have a shot to kind of reinvent ourselves, try new things. The network is giving us permission to do that. Just with the change of guard at CBS, with people in pivotal roles at an executive level, they have given us creative license to try new and different things. And so I think you're seeing that in the way that the show's put together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys have also tried out different themes the past couple of years. You did blind dates, you did social media, you did complete strangers, and this last season was, a lot of athletes. It was like no competitive people. Do you think you'll continue doing those themes for the foreseeable future, or do you see yourselves like going back to the original concept of the show, just like average Joes who've known each other racing the race?
Look, I think hardcore Amazing Race fans, they keep talking about, let's go back to the original idea, or they love the original idea. And I agree with them. My favorite seasons are seasons where it is ordinary people in an extraordinary situation. The thing is, we can't just keep doing that again and again and again and again. And the way that, to me, that is going to work, where we do get so-called ordinary people in an extraordinary situation, is we have to kind of mix it up with other ideas. We have to mix it up with other casting choices. We have to keep trying new and different things. We can't just be stuck in the same old pattern of it's the same thing every season. So look, we'll be getting back to that ordinary person in the extraordinary situation. Absolutely. It's not going away. It's how we started. But I think fans also appreciate that we're trying different things. Mm-hmm. You never know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people had a lot of different opinions about last season, especially with Cody and Jessica, who were just, they're so polarizing. But I think a lot of people ended up loving it and changing their minds about them too.
Yeah, I definitely saw a change in attitude. In the beginning, there was a very strong reaction from a lot of hardcore race fans about Cody and Jessica being in the show. But I agree with you. I think, sometimes you just got to let things play out and see what happens. Like, if people are talking about our show, good or bad, like whether they agreed with that casting choice or not, it got people talking. and it created interesting content. So we can't just play it safe all the time. If we haven't got people questioning choices and whether we have or haven't done the right thing, then to me, we're not pushing the possibilities. I think our fans expect us to try different things. Otherwise, we can't just sit back and go, oh, we got it all sorted out. Let's just do, it's like, it can't be just a plug-in. We have to be pushing ideas. We have to be trying new and different things. And we have to have a little controversy sometimes where people are maybe not necessarily all in agreement.
Mm-hmm. When I talked to you before you went away to film 30, you predicted that Team Extreme would win and Cody and Jessica would come in third.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's one of your better predictions because
you think?
Yeah.
I did pretty well.
Did that surprise you, the results?
Look, I think I was, right from the get-go, I made no, I didn't hide the fact that I really thought Team Extreme were going to win. As I said, I thought Jen was the most competitive person I've ever seen in the audition process, in the run-up to the start of the race, and then through the race. I don't know if I'd ever seen anybody more or have seen anybody more competitive. So I really felt like they had it. And quite frankly, look how close it was. I mean, it was so close.
That was such a good final task.
It was incredible. And I did not see Henry and Evan going as far as they did. So this is the thing that I love about the shows. I did pretty well predicting the final three last season, but I never saw Henry and Evan going as far as they did. And they were amazing. They were great racers.
And they almost won.
Yeah. And look, my favorite episode last season was in Hong Kong. I loved the night show there. I loved it because I loved the simplicity of that search in the streets where they were trying to find the symbols. And we had all that chopping and changing with the lead, with all the teams. It was sort of back to the roots of what makes the show great. I really do think we had a great season. So we are going to be doing new and different things coming up in the next season as well. But the fact that we continue to get recognized by our peers and that the show is still relevant in 2018, we're very thankful for that. We work hard for it, but we're very thankful for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys have won 10 Emmys for a reality competition program. So what would a win for season 30 mean for you guys now, this comeback season?
Well, The Voice is on a bit of a roll right now.
So are you guys. You can,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually, to be honest with you, I think it's very hard to compare, say, The Voice and Amazing Race. If anything, I feel like there should be another category for shows that are shot on a stage that are almost like performance shows, because they do it very well. I think the show is really well done. And over the years, American Idol did a great job. But those shows, that whole genre to me is quite different from being on location. Working in an environment at 69 degrees with beautiful lighting and hot cams at 9 and lunch at 12 and the lighting designers on that show, they do an amazing job. All those studio shows, but to me it's a completely different skill set from being in 120 degrees in Bangladesh where you're just drenched and you started with a light purple shirt and now you've got a dark purple shirt because you're just drenched in sweat. And if something breaks down, you can't just go over into the valley and pick up another camera. You're stuck in the most densely populated city in the world trying to make a show. To me, it's a different, yes, they're both reality shows, I guess, but I would call those shows more like variety type shows more than I would really what we do, or say Survivor or some of the shows that are out on location.
Yeah, your set is the world.
Yeah, it's hard because we can't control our environment. When you're in a studio, or even when you're on an island, or if you're in a house, or you're on any set where you can close yourself off from the rest of the world, there are a different set of parameters that you're working with. We have people spread out over literally tens of thousands of miles, and we're susceptible to people's, different countries, cultures, customs, languages. If they cancel a train and we've got all our teams heading on a train, that's not a production element. That's not something we can control. We're susceptible to what is happening in the real world. If there's a monsoon, if there's a pilot strike, a heat wave, whatever is happening in the real world, it affects us. We can't control it. So it does add to the challenges of making the show, but I think makes the show very exciting for the viewers, because they now realize that that we are dealing with that. And I think there's an unpredictable element to that they like, because they feel like anything could happen. And of course, anything does happen.
Mm-hmm. So I know you're getting ready to take off for season 31 this weekend. So what can you tease about the season? And there's a lot of rumors, and you probably can't say anything that's going to be an all Big Brother cast. So what can you whet the appetite with right now?
Well, I love rumors. So maybe you just come up with any scenario you want.
And you'll say yes or no.
No, rumors are good, because it means people are talking about the show. And I've seen lots of crazy stuff online with people predicting what they think is going to happen. And man, some of them are like, oh, that's an interesting idea. We're absolutely going to be trying some new and different things for seasons 30 and 31. We're trying some different casting options. All I can tell you is that, expect that we will be doing something different. Expect that fans will get something of what they want, based on the original format, getting back to our roots. So I think the fans are going to be happy in the end. And look, every time we go out, we roll the dice, because we're trying new and different things, and we really can't guarantee that any of our gambling is going to pay off. But I'm feeling confident that we have the right ingredients to do something interesting. And I'm hoping that, just as you said, 30 was perhaps your favorite season ever. I'm hoping that you'll say that about the next one.
Okay. Do you have a new twist yet, like a head-to-head?
Oh, we've got lots of new twists. Oh yeah. No, I think you've always got to try new and different things. One of the things that we liked from last season that was very controversial, but we think works, is the head-to-head. There were fans who were up in arms, like, oh my God, how could you have them race to the pit stop, and then there's a head-to-head, and they get there early, and then they have to go up against another team. And it was controversial, and it definitely divided the audience. I would say there was sort of about 60% of people who absolutely loved it, and maybe another 40 who didn't. And then other people who, when they saw the next head-to-head and they saw that showdown between NBA All-Stars and our lifesavers, I mean, who in a eye-hand coordinated sport, a ball sport, who would have ever thought that NBA All-Stars could go down to lifesavers in a head-to-head competition? It was one of my favorite moments of the season. The recently engaged Lucas and Brittany, who get engaged, and then it's all over. They're against NBA All-Stars. It's over. This head-to-head is over. Write the check. It's done. And then they end up winning it. So the head-to-head is going to stay. It works. It's controversial. It's created some exciting television. I will say to fans, they say, well, why put it at the end? Well, because it creates a great showdown at the end. So even if you get there first, you've still got to prove that you're better than the other teams to check in first.
Yeah. It's more pressure, and it adds a lot more suspense, because there have been plenty of episodes over the years where the leg is just kind of straightforward, and there's long gaps between teams that check in. So There's,
Yes.
I just remember watching it at like every commercial break. I'm like, oh my God, like, especially the French fry one.
It got a lot of attention. And listen, you get there early so you have more chances of beating out a team to get to the finish line. If you get there last, then you only have one shot to either win, you lose. You have one shot to get to the mat, to check in. If you get there first, you have a lot more shots because you could get to go against, even if you're up against the very last team to arrive, you still have more shots. So I'm a fan of it. It's cutthroat, yes. Is it fair? It's part of the game. It's an element that we've put into the show that has worked and has got people talking. So I'm a fan of anything that stirs things up. We got to push. This is like I said, it's a competitive landscape. There's a lot of shows out there. There's a lot of choices, and we want people talking about our show.
Mm-hmm. Well, Phil, it was great speaking with you as usual, and have a safe trip around the world.
Thank you. Thank you for being like the most loyal fan to the show since
day one.
Since September the 8th, 2001. Thank you.
Thank you.